Hey Steelers fans, welcome back. The energy in Pittsburgh is electric right now, and there's so much to unpack about our beloved team as they prepare for another critical matchup. Ever since returning from their trip to Ireland, the Steelers have faced some of the toughest running backs in the league. We're talking about four of the current top five in the NFL: Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Derrick Henry, and most recently, Devin A. Against three of those four, the team actually managed to find some success, holding their ground and finding ways to limit the damage. James Cook was the exception, of course, but the point is that Pittsburgh has shown resilience and adaptability, even against elite opponents. However, the upcoming weekend presents perhaps their most formidable challenge yet. The Steelers are about to go up against a team whose rushing attack is absolutely unique, combining the talents of two standout backs whose numbers demand respect. Jahmyr Gibbs has accumulated a remarkable set of yards, while David Montgomery has posted 635 yards, and together they've racked up 21 rushing touchdowns and 13 explosive runs. It's an offensive combination unlike anything Pittsburgh has faced so far this season, and it will test every facet of the defense's preparation and strategy. What makes this matchup so fascinating is how the Steelers have historically managed to handle elite running threats. Against Indianapolis, for instance, they were able to neutralize the running game largely by applying pressure on the quarterback, forcing Daniel Jones to struggle in ways that reminded everyone of his early days in New Jersey. In Baltimore, Derrick Henry was contained, but that was aided by the fact that Lamar Jackson was not at full strength, making the task somewhat easier. And in Miami, the Dolphins' running attack was stifled, partly because Tua Tagovailoa struggled immensely, eventually being benched and relegated to emergency duty for the rest of the season. This weekend's game, however, is different. Jared Goff is not only healthy, but performing at an elite level with over 3,700 passing yards and 29 touchdowns. He has weapons around him, including a dynamic target in Monroe St. Brown, and his presence adds a layer of complexity the Steelers have not faced recently. This is not a matchup where Pittsburgh can simply dominate the running game and rely on turning the quarterback into a non-factor. They will need a multidimensional approach, balancing defensive strength with offensive efficiency. On the offensive side, the Steelers have made progress in areas that were critical last week. Time of possession, for example, became a defining factor against the Dolphins. Maintaining control of the clock allowed the defense to rest, minimizing exposure to a high-powered offensive opponent. This principle is going to be even more vital in Detroit, where the ground attack is formidable and the offensive line is healthy. Derek Harmon returning to full participation is a significant boost for stopping the run, providing stability and leadership in the middle of the defense. On the other hand, TJ Watt remains sidelined, and Nick Herbig's absence as well leaves gaps that Detroit will undoubtedly try to exploit. With Alex Highsmith and Jack Sawyer likely forming the starting edge-rushing duo, Pittsburgh will need not only discipline but also smart, coordinated play to contain explosive runs. Sawyer has shown flashes as a rookie, but he and his counterparts will face an uphill battle against a team that thrives on rushing efficiency and power. Pittsburgh's best counterbalance to Detroit's rushing prowess might be their own ground game. Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell have the potential to make an impact if they can execute effectively, and even Caleb Johnson could contribute more than a few crucial carries. Sustaining this element of the offense will be critical, as it helps balance the attack, keeping the defense honest, and preventing the opponent from becoming one-dimensional. On top of that, wide receivers like Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Adam Thielen are providing immediate impact through smart, precise routes that create opportunities for both passing and rushing plays. DK Metcalf benefits greatly from their work, but the team will need even more contributions to maintain efficiency in the air. Dynamic decoys and strategic movement are effective, but at some point, production and receptions must translate into yardage, first downs, and sustained drives. Tight ends and even Calvin Austin may need to step up and create space or draw coverage, allowing the running game to flourish. Volume in the passing game is essential, and every reception counts toward keeping defenses honest, especially against a team like Detroit that can exploit any imbalance. When it comes to defending against the Lions, the challenge is not just the offensive firepower, but also managing injuries and player availability. While some players are returning to full participation, others remain limited or sidelined, which adds complexity to the defensive plan. Coordinated effort between offense and defense will be critical to controlling the game flow. If the Steelers can sustain drives, maintain possession, and continue to balance their attack effectively, they can mitigate Detroit's strengths while creating opportunities to strike when the opponent is off balance. This kind of strategic execution, combining disciplined defensive assignments with calculated offensive aggression, will be the hallmark of a successful game plan. It's a delicate balance, and one that will require all units to perform in unison under pressure, adapting to real-time circumstances while maximizing the talents of both veterans and emerging players. Additionally, Pittsburgh's offensive line deserves recognition for its recent performance. Players like Dylan Cook have faced significant challenges in pass blocking, historically one of the team's most difficult areas. Yet, through careful preparation, schematic support, and individual execution, these linemen have managed to maintain consistency and protect the quarterback effectively. The adjustments and support provided, whether through double teaming, tactical scheming, or communication with guards and tackles, have allowed the offense to operate with fewer mistakes and greater confidence. Watching the film reveals how well players have adapted to complex assignments, navigating both pass protection and run blocking responsibilities without giving up sacks or penalties. The blend of physical skill, tactical awareness, and collaborative effort highlights the level of preparation necessary to compete at the highest level, and it will be tested rigorously in the upcoming matchup against Detroit's formidable defensive line. In short, this week promises one of the most challenging and intriguing games of the season for Pittsburgh. With a combination of elite rushing opponents, a skilled quarterback in Jared Goff, and defensive injuries affecting rotation, the Steelers must execute with precision on both sides of the ball. Offensive versatility, smart time of possession management, disciplined defensive play, and strategic use of personnel will all be critical to contending with the Lions' strengths. The preparation and execution leading into this game could define the team's trajectory for the remainder of the season, especially considering playoff aspirations and divisional positioning. Every play, every yard, and every decision on the field will carry weight, and the team's ability to adapt dynamically while maintaining fundamentals will be the story fans are watching closely as kickoff approaches. Moving into Detroit, the Steelers are facing a team that thrives on power running and a quarterback capable of exploiting any gaps in coverage. Jared Goff has proven he can make precise throws under pressure, and with his receiving core, the Lions' passing attack is no longer something to underestimate. Monroe St. Brown is a matchup nightmare, combining size, athleticism, and reliable hands, which forces defenders to choose between covering the tight end or accounting for the ground game. That dual threat adds layers of complexity that Pittsburgh has to prepare for, as any lapse in discipline could lead to explosive plays that swing momentum immediately. It is not just about stopping the run anymore. It's about controlling tempo, dictating how Detroit can approach each series, and forcing them into uncomfortable situations where one-dimensional football becomes their only option. The Steelers have shown glimpses of doing this in previous weeks, and this week demands a refined, confident version of that strategy. Pittsburgh's offensive approach must be equally nuanced. The running backs, Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell, have to stay disciplined while exploiting lanes created by the offensive line. The offensive line, in turn, has to operate as a cohesive unit, ensuring that both run blocking and pass protection complement each other. Every gap, every block, and every adjustment matters, particularly against a defensive front that could disrupt timing and force mistakes. Caleb Johnson may also be a factor, contributing on short yardage situations or helping to draw defenders' attention away from the primary backs. Timing and execution must be precise. Any hesitation or miscommunication could be costly against a team that punishes even minor errors. Pittsburgh's ability to sustain drives, keep the chains moving, and create scoring opportunities will be essential not only to win the game, but also to rest the defense and maintain balance across all phases. Defensively, the Steelers face challenges with personnel availability. Derek Harmon's return is a positive, bringing stability to the interior and helping to anchor against the run. However, T.J. Watt's absence leaves a critical gap in edge pressure, and Nick Herbig's continued limited status compounds the issue. The rookie duo of Alex Highsmith and Jack Sawyer will likely shoulder significant responsibilities, and while they have shown promise, Detroit's backs are prepared to test their stamina and technique. Pittsburgh's secondary also has to maintain awareness, as Goff is adept at targeting mismatches and exploiting defensive hesitation. Coverage assignments must be precise, and communication must be flawless, especially when adapting to shifts in formation and motion from the Lions' offense. Any breakdown can lead to explosive plays, which could dictate the game's outcome early if Pittsburgh cannot respond immediately. In the passing game, the Steelers have built a rhythm that requires smart execution and trust between the quarterback and his receivers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Adam Thielen have become crucial contributors, running precise routes that open windows for DK Metcalf and others. Dynamic decoys are essential, but so is the actual production in receptions. The offense must turn these opportunities into yardage, first downs, and ultimately scoring drives. Tight ends may need to step up to provide additional targets and create mismatches, while Calvin Austin's speed can stretch the field when used strategically. Every completed pass counts, as controlling the air attack keeps Detroit's defense honest and prevents them from focusing solely on the run. The interplay between running and passing is where Pittsburgh can create leverage, forcing defenders to respect multiple threats simultaneously and opening up options for explosive plays. Special teams and situational football also play a pivotal role in a game of this magnitude. Field position, kick coverage, and returns can tip the balance, especially when both offenses are capable of scoring quickly. Any lapse in execution on special teams can shift momentum and force the defense into extended drives, increasing fatigue and the risk of breakdowns. Steelers coaches and players understand that attention to detail in these areas is just as important as the execution in offensive and defensive schemes. Small advantages in field position, clock management, and situational awareness can compound over 4 quarters, creating opportunities for game-changing plays or crucial stops that define the outcome. Injury management and player rotation will be another key factor. While some players have returned to full participation, others remain limited, requiring adjustments and tactical planning. This affects the depth chart, forcing coaches to rely on younger players or rotating personnel more frequently. Each snap carries additional weight, as sustaining performance under physical stress and situational pressure will test both experience and resilience. Pittsburgh's ability to manage this, maintaining intensity without overexposing players, will be essential for controlling the flow of the game and preserving key contributors for the stretch run of the season. Balancing rest, rotation, and execution becomes a chess match, with every decision influencing both the immediate game and the broader playoff picture. Beyond tactics and personnel, mental preparation will be critical. The Steelers must approach Detroit with confidence while avoiding complacency. They have faced top-tier running backs and quarterbacks before, but the unique combination of power, skill, and precision offered by this Lions team requires both focus and adaptability. Every defensive assignment, every offensive play, and every situational decision must be executed with awareness of the opponent's capabilities. The mental edge, including preparation, anticipation, and adjustment, may prove just as decisive as physical performance. Pittsburgh has the talent, but translating it into consistent execution under pressure will define the outcome. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be the most shocking twist of the season, whispers are swirling across the NFL. Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals star quarterback, is reportedly on the verge of signing a 3-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. While neither team has confirmed the reports, sources close to the situation suggest negotiations have been intense, with Pittsburgh eager to secure one of the league's brightest talents. The possibility of Burrow moving to Pittsburgh has sent shockwaves through the league. The Steelers, historically known for building their identity around strong defense and dynamic quarterbacks, could be signaling a bold new era. Analysts are speculating that this move might redefine Pittsburgh's strategy, potentially reshaping the AFC North landscape. Burrow, widely praised for his poise under pressure and laser-sharp accuracy, would instantly become the centerpiece of a team hungry for championship contention. Fans and insiders alike are buzzing about what this could mean for the Steelers roster. Pittsburgh has long been searching for a franchise quarterback to lead them back to glory, and Burrow's potential arrival seems to answer that call. Speculation suggests that the contract could include performance incentives and options that make it one of the most intriguing quarterback deals in recent memory. Meanwhile, Bengals fans are reportedly in disbelief, as losing Burrow would represent a seismic shift for a team that has built much of its identity around his leadership and on-field brilliance. Social media is alight with reactions, ranging from excitement to outright shock. Could this be a sign that the Steelers are ready to challenge the league's elite immediately? Some pundits are already drawing comparisons to past quarterback moves that altered the balance of power in the NFL, noting that Pittsburgh's decision, if finalized, might be one of the boldest gambles in recent history. While nothing is official, the rumor mill continues to churn. If Burrow does make the move, it could ignite a chain reaction across the league, forcing other teams to rethink their rosters and draft strategies. For now, fans can only speculate and imagine what it would look like to see one of football's brightest stars donning the iconic black and gold. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.